When I have to crush this sales pitch or an audition, I need something I can count on, Zach Braff.
Yes, I hear you. Did you know that Stem and Root natural supplements are backed by over 100 clinical trials?
Stem and Root is a new brand of natural supplements for common health concerns such as occasional sleeplessness, daily stress, pain due to overexertion, and mental clarity. Available on Amazon.com. Shop now on Amazon for 10% off. Use code REALFRIENDS.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The radio on your dash is more than radio. That SiriusXM button is instant access to a world of exclusive entertainment, including ad-free music channels for every genre and decade. You can also hear your favorite sports, comedy, talk, and news. Plus, you can stream with the SiriusXM app on your phone and connected home devices. So grab your phone, dial pound 250, and just say SiriusXM to get 12 months for $5 a month with a new select subscription. Call for offer details. Fees and taxes apply.
There's games you play alone. Then there's games that bring you together, forging friendships out of friendly competition. June's Journey is one of those games. 30 million fans have downloaded June's Journey, putting their detective skills to the test to help June Parker solve the murder of her sister. There's seek and find hidden pictures, spot the difference challenges, and so much more fun, all set in the glamorous 1920s. Download June's Journey now for free on your favorite app store and on desktop through Amazon and Facebook.
It's now time for Cannabis Talk 101 with Blue, Joe Grande, and Mark and Craig Wasserman, the Pot Brothers at Law. We're the world's #1 podcast for everything cannabis.
Hello and welcome to Cannabis Talk 101, the world's #1 source for everything cannabis. My name's Blue. Alongside of me is the world famous Pot Brothers at Law, Mark and Craig Wasserman, and also Mr. Joe Grande.
Good day, everyone.
How's everyone doing out there in podcast land?
I hope everyone is feeling good and everyone's safe and dry, as it is a crazy time in the world right now.
Yes.
Mark, it's just a crazy time in the world, as we were talking outside earlier today and just thinking about what things are going on. So thank you, though, for listening to the podcast, Cannabis Talk 101, all around the world. If you want to give us a call, 800-420-1980. Make sure you check out our website, CannabisTalk101.com, and, of course, all over social media, at CannabisTalk101, at pot_brothers_at_law. Mark is at Waslaw. Craig is at Waslaw Dog. Blue is at 1 Christopher Wright.
Hello.
I am at Joe Grande 52, and I'll also be in Texas at the George Braun Convention Center October 9th and 10th at the Counterculture Convention in Houston, Texas. C3 Blue. It's going to be a great time out there.
Oh, man, and it's what time, Joe?
Dime time, folks.
You got to know it, guys. And G4 Live Bud Tenders Awards is going down at Resort World May 12th and 14th, guys. We will be there. Cali FX and Connector, Terpene Warehouse, Budman Stew, 420 Expressions, guys, and Viscous Vapes. Woo. Live the ride, guys. It's going down. Now, listen, we have a fantastic show for you today, Joe. Let's talk about Big Boy.
Yeah, so when we say Big Boy, Mark and Craig Wasserman, I don't think Craig knows who he is really, because Craig had no fucking clue early on when he first met me. Big Boy, I don't know Joe Grande. I don't know who he is.
Oh, I know exactly.
Which is great, which is good, and you don't need to. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying,
You're right.
Craig
We don't need
might
to.
need to. I love you so much, Craig. You're such an asshole, and I love it. And that's why we get along so well, because you're so real like that. And so, the thing is with Big Boy is it's his birthday today. So for those who don't know who Big Boy is, Big Boy Radio, you can look him up online under Big Boy Radio. You can just Google Big Boy. He's a radio personality.
Legend.
Out of Los Angeles, the voice of L.A., and it's his birthday. So happy birthday to you, Big Boy.
Happy birthday.
As we get ready to celebrate his birthday today, he's also getting a star on the Walk of Fame, which is unbelievable to think that, a guy who grew up out here, a single-family home, a bunch of brothers and sisters, and his mom, Ida, who was just amazing woman. I didn't get a chance to meet her, unfortunately. She was already passed when I came out to work with him. But, it's his birthday, and for those who don't know as well, he kind of gave us the plug to help us become partners with iHeartRadio as well, because he's the one who really introduced us to the president and this and that. And, I've had some connections, but Big was my plug because I worked with him. for so many years. So as we celebrate a moment before we get into some segments and this and that, we just wanted to acknowledge and celebrate Big Boy and maybe share a few stories. I don't know if we want to start with one of you guys, because I can go on forever. I think I want to hear your guys' stories first. And I know we have Cal that works with us too. I want Cal to share stories, or a couple of stories, but just something that comes to mind of something that, let's start with you, Mark. Or Craig, let you think. Maybe if you even have one, Craig.
I'll
maybe it's going to be his wife. Or Blue, do you want to start?
I'll kick this off,
okay,
man.
go ahead,
listen,
Blue.
So listen, I mean, let me roll it back and say this, man. First of all, shout out to Big Boy.
And we celebrate him because he's literally a radio legend, folks.
Literally. Besides being a friend and someone that I feel like I could talk to, and through Joe, in introductions and stuff. I've chased Big Boy around as a young man, being a part of entertainment, and interviewed him. Worked beside him, secretly in the shadows, and literally have tried to break music with him throughout my career, and trying to be in music and stuff like that, and always looked up to what he's done for the community of Los Angeles and throughout the United States, because he eventually got syndicated. And I just followed his career and always been a fan, and then to have him as a friend now and be able to, communicate with them and do little stunts with Joe and things that we've been able to. That
was fun. That was fun.
We've got some cool. Joe's got some cool stuff, and I just admire how him and Joe are so tight and the good friends. But to give you guys a thought of one thing that I always remember growing up. And it's a legendary skit that he does. It's called The Phone Tap, and it's like, we got your phone tap. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they come?
No. Right now, it's about the.
I don't even know. I only just sat there for years listening to it, though.
All we need is the right word or two to make it all stick like glue. We got you.
Got you.
He's been phone tapping people for years.
Yeah, and what he does on that, if you're not
prank
familiar,
calls.
Yeah, he prank calls people, man. But I mean, he takes people down these roller coasters, dude, and he keeps them on the phone, and they clearly don't know. These are not staged, phone taps. And I mean, he will literally call somebody and just continue to prank them on and on.
I do listen to those, by the way.
Yeah, and
they're hilarious.
It's hilarious.
In the 5 minutes on from house to the office, I do listen to him in the morning.
Wow, Craig, do you still do it nowadays too? Let's see, what station is he on now then, Mister? I listen to him.
Coast.
Coast, exactly.
That's what I was going to hear from. Isn't he on 98.7 Alternative Rock?
On, then?
Yeah,
it's the real.
What times are the phone taps on?
Oh, it's the real.
Then?
Look at him. Look at Craig. He says it's the real.
Hey, and remember, this is not Big Boy. Who is it that does the phone taps?
Luther
Lufay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Cal, sit up here on the mic so when you talk, people can see you.
And
too.
he calls himself Luther Lufay, and he goes, "Hey, it's Luther," and he's like, and I could even remember one where, and don't quote me on it, but he would call up and he's like, "Hey, my furniture got delivered, to the wrong address. I got the furniture from you." He's like, "What was your address?" And he's like, Luther Lefay, 755. He's giving him an address, and the guy's like, "I don't see you in my system." "Well, come get your furniture, man." And he's like, "No, I think you got the wrong place." He's like, "No, this is so and so."
Such a talented dude. He's so funny. All the shit
he's literally coming off the hip. And he's just going over it, and people are just driving way into it, and then he's like, just ad-libbing the whole way, and it's just a fantastic humor and just hilarious. Keeps us all entertained throughout the United States, but throughout California, for me, LA,
all over the world. Actually, the dude's so fucking globally well recognized.
Yeah.
Literally, he tells me everywhere he goes around the world, people are like, "Dude, I watched that interview with you and Kanye, you and whoever, name the big person," because he's named and he's interviewed everyone from Barack Obama to Blue.
You know what I mean? And it's like it's crazy, And did he do the roll call?
No, that was the Wake Up Show, Sway.
Yeah.
That was Sway back in the day.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, man, it was. Big has just done so many amazing things, and not only that, he's a community-based cat. He's always put his heart, out there to the people. And it's an honor to be a friend. And thank you, Big Boy, if you're listening to this show. And congratulations on the Walk of Fame. You deserve it. You are,
you are a star.
A star, man. And it's well deserved, my friend.
Mark, you want to share one, or Craig? Who wants to go?
So for me, we don't have anything personal up until we were introduced to him by you guys. But for me, my introduction to him was 1998, The Players Club.
Oh, the movie. I remember that movie.
And, he's had quite the acting, film, TV career. You know, he was in Deuce Bigelow.
That was my favorite role, actually, when he was like, "Did you say steak?"
Yeah,
like that's still one of
Now
my.
you got me
favorite-
all excited.
Yeah, right. He just said, and that's when he was over 500 pounds, laying there, just all fucking lovely and sexy.
That's him?
Yes, that was him who played that
That's
role. That was that character in that movie, which was, to me, as you mentioned that movie, that line just comes off the top of my head. Like, and it's a random one-line comment from, like, if you didn't even know who that actor was, who was that guy who played that role? Like,
Big Boy!
Exactly.
Right.
It's great.
Well, for me, that was the guy from the Players Club, and then he
Players
was
Club
in
was a
Three
bouncer?
Strikes and he played himself in Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember that? And then he had a part in Charlie's Angels.
Yes,
Throttle,
look at you.
Longest Yard. I mean, come on, I'm a film and TV buff, and this guy's done a lot.
Yeah,
in fact, there's a rumor that I know of that he's involved in a movie called Swackers, which allegedly is being produced by Joe Grande. Is this true?
You know, this has been in the works for a long time, but he just has his other movie that he just did that Cal, I think you told me about, right? That not the documentary one, but it kind
Here
of showed
Without
his
Me?
life.
Yeah, it was the Dalmar production.
Which
it
was
was
dope.
that was like about a.
Are you the one that sent me that?
I am.
Darman.
Pitt, but Pitt, you sent it to me after Pitt. Don't get it twisted. You
it
sent
was-
it to me as well, but somebody sent it to me before you did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think Cal was the first one
It
to
was
send that to me.
it was a 20-30 minute documentary on his life.
Hey, dog, that one gets you teared up.
That one did, and I
Like,
was in
for real.
tears by like the
Hold
last
on.
quarter of it. It was a wrap, So
Which way is that the one I was just talking about recently? No.
I don't know
'Cause he
if
just
you
did that.
sent it to me, but I think you might have mentioned it. Pitt sent it to me. And
Is it a
Pitt
new one
actually
that
hit me
just
up
came
too,
out
going,
with his
that shit
mom?
was emotional.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the one where with his mom handing him the tape.
Walkman,
the
she-
Walkman
Well,
tape.
what she said is if you can
If you believe you can achieve.
if you believe
Yes,
you
that's
can
the-
achieve,
yeah, that's the
baby.
one.
Right.
And I did that.
If you guys haven't seen that, seriously, what is it you have to Google and look up? I'm sure it's Big Boy.
It was a big. You can type in Big Boy documentary, but it was I believe the production company is called Dalmar, if I'm not.
Yeah, and he
mistaken.
puts
Damar,
together some
Damar,
great stuff, man.
Dalmar.
That guy's dope.
Yeah.
He is nice. He has a few amongst other ones he has done, but this one obviously was touched a special place for the both of us.
You know what? When we come back, let's talk more about Big Boy and his Walk of Fame. And you know what, Craig, you're up next, man. It's Cannabis Talk 101. We'll be right back after this break.
Need an escape from the everyday? Take a sleuthing trip back to the Roaring 20s with June's Journey, the murder mystery mobile game packed with adventure and intrigue. So why is it called June's Journey? Here's the scoop. June's sister and brother-in-law have both been found dead, leaving their daughter orphaned. But June suspects foul play, and she's on a journey to prove it. That's where you come in. June's Journey puts your detective skills to the test. Seek and find hidden objects in beautiful, colorful, and carefully crafted sceneries. Compete with friends to see who has the keenest sense of observation. And climb the leaderboard with people who all enjoy doing the same thing. Solving mysteries. June's Journey has everything, including 30 million fans. That many fans can't be wrong. So download June's Journey now for free. It's the most fun you'll have on your phone, guaranteed. Available on your favorite app store.
Hey, everybody, I'm Aditi Kinkabwala.
And I'm Mike Yam, and we are the hosts of NFL Explained. It's the podcast where football fanatics come to learn everything they always wanted to know about football.
But didn't know who to ask.
Well, they can ask us now. And of course, we're going through all of these topics, Aditi. And I know you and I are so excited to start disseminating nothing but football nugs.
Well, and Mike, I've got questions of my own. Like, do you know why the Packers are named the Packers?
I do know that it has nothing to do with Pac-Man, and it has everything to do with cheese packing.
Not cheese, with meat. Meat packing. It was a meat packing company that put $500 up for the uniforms.
Or how about this? How about like what constitutes an actual catch in football, which I would imagine all my years of covering college football is a different answer now covering the NFL.
And unfortunately, Mike, I don't think that we will possibly have enough time to figure that one out.
But the point is, you're going to be able to join us every Thursday to talk about every interesting detail about the game we love. It's NFL Explained.
Listen on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Bienvenidos, mi gente. Gloria Estefan here. We are bringing Red Table Talk the Estefans to podcast. Just like our Red Table Talk sisters, we have brought 3 generations together to talk family, relationships, and social issues from the perspective of 3 fabulosas Latinas. Join me with my niece Lily, a beloved Latina TV star and devoted mother of two. She is Estefan.
You can break my heart, but you cannot take my soul.
And my daughter Emily. She's a talented musician, she's outspoken, and a powerful voice of her generation. She's Esta Fresh.
People need people, but you have to make the first step to say that.
And I'm Esta Fierce. I'm Gloria Estefan. I'm a performer. I've been married for 42 years, have 2 children, 1 grandson, and 5 dogs. Listen to Red Table Talk the Estefans as part of the My Cultura podcast network, available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Cannabis Talk 101. Big boy tribute.
Happy birthday, big
Happy
boy.
Happy birthday, big boy, man. So before we went to break, man, we were talking about all the fantastic movies and skits. And Craig,
Well, Mark, is that it? Before we go to your big brother, is that, I mean, all those great movies and stuff, that's so funny that you remember all those. Is there anything else that you can recall?
Yeah, well, I mean,
that sticks
it's just
out?
all that stuff. I mean, of course, I heard you and him on the radio when you got out.
Did you really, though? Did you really remember that?
Yes, I did.
Because you never know. I would imagine. I know Blue does because Blue, when he reminds me of when I first met him, I remember meeting so many of these bald-headed pelon character cholos that used to come up to me like that I totally think I really remember exactly who you were, to be honest.
Yeah.
But there was just not so many. There is about 15 to 20 of those characters that in my lifespan
that popped in like, hey, bro,
hey, what's up, homie? I gotta play, you know what I mean? So I know you did.
Well, you know how you know for sure is when you walked into our office for the first time. I'm
First thing off the top of your mouth.
Hey, Joe Grande? He's like, yo, what's up? I'm Joe Grande. I'm like, and it took me like 2.2 seconds. I'm like, Joe Grande, Big Boy's Neighborhood, Joe Grande?
Power 106?
Power 106 days? He's like, yeah. And I said, I used to listen to you. And he's like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? You're not.
It's a business meeting, and my first response to him before I even knew him was, hey, fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm not that old, asshole.
You're not that much younger than me, bud.
I'm going to do business with you, but you just better don't talk to me that way.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you, asshole.
It was in good love. You know what I'm saying?
It was
great
but you
love.
could tell by the personality, though, which was that's why
fantastic,
I came back that way.
Man. No, and honestly, man, I've called Power 106, and I've actually won more things when Big Boy and you were all on air, but I wanted more of them when Felly Fell was there.
When he was at night, well, he still is.
Yeah,
there.
he was like
he's still there now.
5 o'clock. Yeah.
No, he did come in. I think it's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Yeah. So, but I was really good at catching
his birthday is in September as well. He's actually having a party at his house. If you always want to go, let me know.
Yeah, we got the address, man. And if you're in the Hollywood area, jump out there. I mean, it's open to the public to come.
Yeah, we're
down.
gonna all be out there because some say hi and support Big Boy.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, support that. It's going to be an amazing thing, and I'm sure everybody in the industry is going to be there.
Craig, let's hear your fake stories because I can't imagine you really listening to Big Boy.
Yeah, that time we went out, we partied really hard.
At QC 2020s?
I think I went up to San Jose. I met this guy named Joe.
Yeah, right.
We did a couple bumps and lines.
Oh,
it was awesome.
You and I definitely would have done that together. That's for sure. Back in those days.
I unfortunately only know the man through you guys. But after meeting him, I do listen to the station. And
So you didn't listen to him until after you met him? You didn't start listening to him until afterwards, huh?
You know what? To be honest, I may have because I was starting to listen to hip hop more. So I may have listened to him and not really realized who he was.
Sure.
And just to be transparent, the best part about when we all met, of course, Blue just said how we met at this business office, and then I come in and get interviewed, and the best part about that when I come to do the show, and then I was like, hey, man, yeah, I think I could be a part of the show, and it could be a great thing. And he tells Mark's like, oh, cool. Craig's like, who the fuck is Joe Grande?
Oh, but his wife knew.
And if it wasn't for Amanda going, what do you mean, you pendejo?
Yeah.
How do you not know who this guy is?
This guy's actually the real deal.
I don't know.
Well, you know what? To be fair though, growing up as a kid in the
KLOS era,
in the
Kevin and Bean,
in the farm town era,
he's way back.
I did not listen to radio.
Not even Rick Dees?
You're Howard Stern, bro. You were Howard Stern.
He's before Howard Stern.
I did.
I know those names, but it wasn't like I listened to him. It was like, oh yeah, I gotta listen to Rick Dees every morning, or I'm gonna listen to. The only guys I probably ever listened to a lot was Mark and Brian.
Okay, yeah, KLOS, like I said. But let me ask you this. Do you know the Rick Dees song that he did?
No.
Rick Dees in the morning.
No. Mark? The Rick D
Oh,
song, that
man,
was the biggest
you know
song
what?
that Rick D's did.
I know
Anyone?
what you're talking about.
Anyone in the room? Nobody has the
I know
Rick
what you're
D's
talking
history?
about.
Quack, quack. It's a duck song. Remember the duck song?
Yes.
No.
The Rick D's
I
had a
don't.
big duck song.
No.
Oh,
I
well,
don't remember
whatever.
that one.
Anyway, it's
I'm
a
too
long
young for
time.
it.
Sing
Yeah.
it, Joe.
Well, I'm not going to sing that. I'm not a good melody. So that's a good one. Quick, how about you, Cal? How did you even meet Big Boy? Because the funny thing is, Cal's now working with us, and I met Cal at a private recording for a comedy show that Big Boy's was hosting and putting together that hasn't even been put out yet.
Yes, sir.
So it was a private recording that only a selected fucking 15 people in the audience, maybe. It was like
Maybe, yeah.
during COVID. We literally all had to be COVID tested
Mm-hmm.
going into the venue. And I meet Cal at that venue, and Cal was such a nice young man, and then asked to interview me one day. He comes to the house with this fucking guy.
Wait
that
a minute.
looked
What?
like, What, are you okay?
Yeah. So, excuse me. The smoking good, smoking good bum bud. The bum
Take it
bud.
on.
The bum bud. No. I thought you were. Tell us the story where you said that he asked you to grab some clean up.
Oh, at this, yeah. So so I'm at
we
this
go.
event, and
Yeah, big time.
I get introduced to him because he's walking. I go, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm Joe. And he goes, what's up, Cal? And he goes, by the way, can you hand me one of them waters, please, and grab this little mess up right here? And I'm like, sure, no problem. Just always here to be of service for everyone. Fuck, this is weird that this little youngster's asking me to do shit.
Yeah,
but
man.
Whatever. So I fucking clean up, and then somebody goes, hey, dog, you know that's Joe Grande, right? And he goes, oh, my bad. I thought he was part of the cleanup crew.
That's because
it was such a private, small, intimate group there, right? And I was like,
Well,
oh,
you
no
dressed-
big deal.
you dressed so nicely,
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that's
funny. And then
probably
after
what it really
that,
was.
he asked if he can come over and interview me for his podcast that he does on YouTube, which is always cool. Cal, what is that on YouTube? That you
Cali.
do?
Yeah, it's Cali the Serious.
Cali the Serious, and he brought Daniel over, him and Daniel. That's when we met Daniel at my house. And it was funny because even at that, dog, most cats don't ever get to cross, to get to the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because I met Cal through Big, I'm like, okay, this kid's got to be solid.
Yeah.
Big's not going to invite somebody to be a part of this group that we're at watching and being a part of and hanging out afterwards if you're not solid, right? So just off that, I'm like, all right, player, come to the house. So he comes to the house and we hit it off. So we really haven't even talked even offline or personally about how many stories and random things you know of Big. So how did you even meet Big and how did you become, because you're a youngster.
Yes, sir. Well, whenever anybody asks me this question, I always attribute that to my mother, because my mom was the one that made me a Big Boys Neighborhood fan, riding with her to work to through LA every single day and back, that's where, I was introduced to Big, and then, later on in life, probably I'd say when I was like middle school, high school, I remember just getting a random phone call from her one day. Her and Big were both working in Vegas at the time, and I just, that joy, that we were talking about, that Big brings to everybody, when you meet him here, as Joe, you and I have, found out we were on Big. There's two things for sure, you're going to laugh and you're going to learn something new, know? So with that being said, like, when she had called me and, that excitement in her voice, you'll never guess who I'm working with right now, And then I'm like, who, and she's like, Big Boy, And that I have never heard her more elated in my life. She literally is the biggest Big Boy fan in the world, So when I was like, really? I was like, hey, tell him to give me a shout out, because I guess you guys were
Out there for a fight or something?
For something along this nature, yeah. And, and fast forward a little bit, Big actually came over to our side of town in the soil in Covina in the 626. And, when I went and introduced myself to him, that was the first, story that I approached him with. He's like, I have a story for you. You and my mom were working together, and I told him everything. He looked me dead in my eye when I was finished with the story, and he looks at me and says, call her. And I was like, okay, so I called my mom, and then I was like, Mom, someone here wants to speak with you. And she's like, who? And it was like, history repeating itself. I hand Big the phone. He grabs the phone, Lisa. And I'm like, what?
Lisa.
Like right there and there,
voice.
And I don't know if you guys have ever been to the spot, but the spot I'm referring to in Covina is a place called Three Vino. It's kind of like a club/bar, if you will. And we were, this is around the time where he's making his move from, Power 106 to Real, and he invited her down. He's like, look, I'm here with your, I'm here with your son Cal right now, like we're, he bought us drinks and dinner that night, and the rest, as we say, is history. And I knew that this was going to be the beginning of something beautiful just off the strength of that, just because I was able to introduce my mom to, one of her heroes, So that's where, I knew that Big was always going to have my, my utmost respect and love, just for that, because anybody that can, that can just do that just by their mere presence, you know what I mean? That's a mark of a legend. So,
what's beautiful about that is that, I'll tell you, we were shooting with Joe and Joe Grande and Big Boy at a location. What was the taco? The food truck? The food?
Oh, Taco Vato?
No, Taco Vato.
Next Burger.
Next Burger.
Oh, yes.
So we were shooting on set.
It hasn't come out yet though, so we can't give too much.
Yeah, I'm not going to give any of that away. We were shooting at a private location with Joe Grande and Big, and I'll tell you, we were standing in a parking lot down the street. And as we're in the parking lot, people are beeping because they seen Big Boy. Like, you know what I mean? They recognize him. He's that recognizable. Not only that, though, is, all of a sudden the car pulls in the parking lot, you know what I mean? And this, dude jumps out and walks up and Latin Cat, and he's like, hey, bro, like, I'm not trying to, disrespect or anything. I know you guys are probably busy, but, can I get a pic, And Big's like, man, get over here, bro. Like, let's go. And just showed him all kinds of love, you know what I mean? Took a couple pictures with the kid, you know what I mean? Talked to him for a second. And one thing that I think is super important is Big is the kind of cat that, will talk to you and extract some information out you to find out kind of where your mind's at. And he does it so quickly, and he does it from his heart that it's just natural. And I watched him do that, hey man, where you from? Oh, you at work right now? You kind of tell he's in some work gear, and he's like, what do you do? And instead of just being like, yeah, take a picture, hurry up, I gotta go, he took a second to give that dude the feeling that he should have got, because he saw he was a fan and he wanted to snap a shot.
And he treats cats like that, whether you're a fan or not. Like, the dude is seriously one of the best human beings I know.
Yeah.
Like, facts. Like, not even like acting like, oh, let me stroke the dude on his birthday. Like, he's just genuinely like that. Like, I can't think of a time of something sideways where, it was just, he's sideways on somebody. I mean, there's been times where we've had to flex on folks. But,
yes,
I mean, because he's still street. Like, and if somebody comes sideways, we go sideways.
Yeah.
But he's always the realest.
Yeah,
like, he's the best.
No, he has just got nothing but love, man. It's Cannabis Talk 101. We'll be right back after this break.
I'm Khalil Gibran Muhammad.
And I'm Ben Austin. We're two best friends.
One black,
one white.
I'm a historian.
And I'm a journalist.
And now we have a new podcast. It's called Some of My Best Friends Are.
Like, I'm not a racist. Some of my best friends are... ... So we grew up on the south side of Chicago together.
And here we are, look, all grown up. I mean, look at you, Ben. You are this incredible writer and journalist. You've written for the New York Times, Wired Magazine, GQ.
You somehow made it to Harvard. From Kenwood to Harvard.
And in this show, we're going to wrestle with the challenges and absurdities of a deeply divided and unequal country. Listen to Some of My Best Friends Are
on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The stories that are affecting the Black community are being covered on the Black Information Network. Not a show or a podcast, BIN is a 24/7 news network covering stories from a Black perspective. Listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app and get news for and by the Black community. Anywhere, anytime. Keeping you informed, keeping you engaged. The Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
I want to get back to being in my community group.
I want to continue having a soccer season.
So I can throw parties again.
So I can go to her parties.
It'd really be nice to dine in instead of getting delivery for a change.
So I can feel safe and protected for myself and my students.
We each have our own reason for why we're getting vaccinated against COVID-19. What will yours be? Visit getvaccineanswers.org for information on the COVID-19 vaccines. It's up to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Take a hit, get lit, and sit back and enjoy Cannabis Talk 101. Mark and Craig, the Pop Brothers at La Baloo, and Big Joe Grande. But we are about to do something with Big Boy right now. Blue, what's going on?
So look, man, Joe Grande is down.
I mean, I haven't had a chance to share any stories yet. I didn't know
What's
if I
his
should
phone
share
number,
a
bro?
story.
Give his phone number out.
Let's talk to him first.
Let's just give out his number. Let's give out his number right now.
He will get a few phone taps of his own. You do that.
Yeah. Let's get him on the phone tap.
Let's do a phone tap on him.
How great would that be, though? Cal,
I'll do it.
What if we both call them, Cal? Let me see. I don't know why I'm looking up my recent call. Then let me just dial it.
Yeah.
See,
Tell
the
them to
funny
call
thing
your
is-
attorneys because you got arrested, Joe.
So when I look him up, I gotta look under Kurt because his real name is Kurt.
Shout out to Kurt, man.
Hold on
Yeah.
here. Let's see.
Kurt.
If he,
All right,
let's
here,
see if he
here,
answers.
turn it up. We're calling him.
Let's see if he answers.
Hello.
We ordered all this food. We need to know where to deliver it to.
God willing, he picks up. Probably busy. This is the type of buddy I have. He won't pick up.
You're not big enough.
Cal, you call him next. He picks
Yeah,
yours right up.
he probably will because he's big time.
Yeah,
man.
let's do it.
Automatic voice message.
Oh, well, he didn't pick
All right,
up
Kyle,
right now.
call him. Let's see if Cal.
Let's give it a try.
Let's
see if it works.
Yeah, he'll answer Cal's call.
Oh, man, let me see right
Hey,
here.
well,
If he does, I'll be If he answers my call and not Joe's, then I mean, like I'll be shocked
Turn
with
it
that
up.
one.
Put it
That'd
in the
be
mic. You
great.
gotta put it in the mic. Hey, there's a guy over here who wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
Mine went straight to voicemail. He may be calling you back right now.
Okay, either. Well, he
I
does.
may just share, while we do this, if I may just share a story. I wasn't sure if I was going to because it was a personal matter, but I think just in honor of Big's birthday, I would like to just share, and I've told him this to myself, Big has literally given me a reason to celebrate on this day, September 8th. He literally shares his birthday the same day as the anniversary of my father's passing.
Oh, no way.
And it's usually like,
Wow.
a day where like I shut off my phone, I disconnect from the world. I don't speak to anybody.
How'd your father pass?
My father was gunned down when I was 2 years old.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Where at?
And
In
before
Covina?
no, I believe it's somewhere in L.A.
Did he bang, or was it random?
No. It was he was visiting a gas station where his partner was working at the time, and he was in there, just shooting the shit with him, gives him discounts and
So some
everything.
side shit
And
random.
somebody, wrong place, wrong time. They ran in there, robbed the gas station. They knew the code, no witnesses, and so
They never caught him, huh?
They never did,
Ooh.
and so usually for this day, it's like it's a cold
Sorry
day
to
for
hear
me,
that, Cal.
but I told Big, you given me a reason to celebrate life today,
man.
So that's how big of an impact that he has on people's lives, just
Thank you
to
for
let it
being
be known.
vulnerable and sharing that story with
Yeah,
us, by the
man.
way, too.
I'm in
That's,
tears right now.
That's fucking hardcore, dog. You were 2?
Yeah.
Híjole.
Well,
Damn.
and it just goes to show kind of, soul this man has.
And not only that, though, like for you to share that story of a day that is fucking terrible for you. Let's just face it. That's terrible. And
it is.
now I'm probably never going to forget even Big's birthday of the double entendre of what it means to me. Like, wow, poor cow. Jeez.
Yeah, no,
What
I
a
mean,
day.
like, yeah. That's why I'm saying I'm thankful for Big in that fact. He changes people's lives without even knowing it. And that's,
he's a good dude. Yeah, there's just so many memories I have of this dude. And, one of the first times when I left the Bay Area to come out here to Power 106, and I get a phone call from him, and he starts fucking with me, trying to, phone tap me, borderline. And I already got a call from a guy named, not Jimmy Steele. Jimmy Steele was the program director, but the other bigger guy, Rick Cummings was the VP of MS at the time. So Rick Cummings called me first, and then Jimmy Steele, who's the program director, and then Big Boy and Jason Ryan called me, who Jason Ryan's the producer, who you guys have heard on one of the podcasts here in the past. And they start messing with me, and, he's joking, and I'm joking back and forth, and just right away we just hit it off. Because we had to see if we meshed together, because I just got let go from the show I was doing, the Doghouse in the Bay. And they why don't you fly out here and let's hang out for the weekend. And one of my first encounters is I'm hanging out with him, and then he's like, hey, you want a drink? Because we go to a club together. He wants to see my vibe and out and about. So we go to this club, we go break bread, we're chilling. He's like, you want some beers? You want some drinks or whatever? No, I'm cool. You need this? You need that? No, I'm cool. I'm sober. How long? I've been sober about 3-4 years now, whatever it was. Oh, you don't drink? And the crazy part is after that meeting that night, he's like, damn, dog, all these stories I remember of you were always fucked up and you were always a crazy motherfucker. Like, because everybody knew me in the industry as far as radio, right, as this morning show crazy dude that was just a party animal and reckless and wild. And Big was like, I thought that's what you was going to be like. I go, well, I'm a tamed, reckless, wild dude. You know what I'm saying?
Started in San Jose.
I could exactly. But, for the radio part of how it started, he thought I was just naturally every moment like that. You know what I mean? Because when you see people doing things like that, like a Chris Farley, right? Or pick the actor or whoever you see.
Assume that's who they is 24/7 a day.
Right? You're going to think, because of my character that I portrayed on the air in San Francisco, and then as I came to LA, I go, I can portray this, though, in a heartbeat. Don't get it twisted, but it's tamed. I don't just sit here and fucking pop off and do things unless we're
controlled chaos.
Yeah, I could control my chaos.
It's like Howard Stern, right? You listen to his show,
Exactly.
you just imagine that he's just as off the wall dude all the time, and maybe he is. Some people do actually carry their, their talent on their sleeve, and they live it
crazy
every day.
So he was like, okay, this is good, but I was always quick wit and this and that. So we hit it off. We had a great time, and then the history is came back again, did it, and then of course we worked together for damn near a decade and whatnot. But it's just that moment of meeting this guy who at the time, it's Big Boy from Power 106, and he's rapping, doing the night show. Of course, me being a radio guy, I knew of his history and knew what he's done and knew that he was a bouncer for the Far Side, and I was a bouncer before I got into radio. So we both had these common little things.
The Big Boy and Joe show.
Well, yeah. Well, it was just like these common things of to be realistic and real with people. We both knew that we used to beat the shit out of people if we need to. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And he knew it, and I knew it. And then he see me do all the Battle of the Big Boys, and he see me, he's seen footage of me and this and that. And he knew I had hands and whatever. And I obviously knew he did because he's a street cat as well too. So if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. He's a Philly. He's down. He's Culver.
You guys are both cut from that cloth.
Exactly.
We feel you.
Yeah. So my point is, we really hit it off, and it was just a great relationship. And then from there, I mean, we've literally traveled around the world. From like one of my biggest, most greatest memories, when I really fight to think of, oh my God, what's the best memory? And I'll never forget being in Korea with me, Big, and Fuzzy, and we're staying up like all night just talking about our families and our mothers and our lives and where we see ourselves and this and that. And it was like literally, in Korea, when we're with we had a tour of the exhibit, I think, out there.
Nice.
And some random shit. But it was
yeah.
us three in this room up all night and just got real deep and vulnerable and talking. And till this day, I even bring up, what's one of the biggest, deepest moments do you think of when you think of us?
In your life.
And he goes, and we all think of that. Me, Big, and Fuzz, all together. Like we all know. When I say that, what's the deepest one you think of amongst our stories that we've shared? Because you guys, we have from that to the fucking Bridget the Midget and horrors, and we have all kinds of crazy fucking stories.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, fun, great
fun,
times,
great,
yeah.
and from concerts and shows, and that
But the one you remember was the deep one.
Deep one.
Yeah, man.
So my point
you guys
is,
just made out in the room together. Everybody just did it.
We basically took long snaps and just held each other long. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I mean, just when you look at people, and for me personally, I like to judge people as well off character.
Sure.
And when someone can do exactly even what you just did, Cal, and be vulnerable and open up like
great. I love
it's like
that.
that's the
Yeah,
character of a human, and that's when you can do that amongst people, whether you're on a mic or when you're alone, and you can have that bond. And as much as we all bullshit, even amongst all four of us, you and I, especially Blue, we've had several of these moments in life. So that's why we're
Joe
connected.
and I get deep like that.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
We'll
And
sit there
so
and, you know what I mean? We
as
get
you're
super-
joking, right? We can joke, and we could all joke, but it's just unique to be able to have an opportunity like that with any friend in life. And if you can have that, and if you haven't, hear my words, and I give you a strong suggestion: be vulnerable to open up to somebody like that, and see if they
be you.
well, it's not even you sometimes, because guess what? It's not about being you, Doc, because some people don't know how to do it. Some people can't be vulnerable and open up like that. About deep, random family things or just being emotional, and they can't do it.
I think it goes down to is they can. They just have to figure out how to. And one of the thoughts that I go to is we all have some kind of a hole that we don't know how to fill.
Right.
And it's difficult, man, to find that hole and understand what that hole is. And I've dug deep into my own holes and wonder why I'm certain ways and why I have to have certain things or do certain things in my life that make me who I feel I am. And why do I have those holes? And I think when you start looking at what those holes are and you slowly try to fill those holes, because a lot of times those holes are deeper than just a little hole, it's understanding that kind of thing and coming to one with yourself and being able to address them and fill the hole. So listen, man, shout out to Big Boy. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kurt Alexander,
legend.
my brother.
Yeah, the legend, man. And the Walk of Fame, it's not every day you hear about someone.
They don't just hand those out.
No.
And I know I'm coming for one myself, Big. And, just show me how to get there, big boy. It's Cannabis Talk 101. Remember this, guys. If no one else loves you, we do.
Thank you for listening to Cannabis Talk 101 on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The stories that are affecting the Black community are being covered on the Black Information Network. Not a show or a podcast, BIN is a 24/7 news network covering stories from a Black perspective. Listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app and get news for and by the Black community. Anywhere, anytime. Keeping you informed, keeping you engaged. The Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Did you know there are thousands of active cults in America today?
Political cults, sex cults, acting class cults, terrorist cults.
To name a few. But do you ever wonder, who are the individuals who get manipulated into them? I'm your host, Liz Iacuzzi.
I'm Tyler Measom. Was I in a Cult is a documentary podcast showcasing the raw, dynamic, and inspiring firsthand stories of individuals who got in.
And most importantly, got out of a cult.
Why are people so obsessed with cults?
Maybe because it could happen to anyone.
And we should know.
Because it happened to us. Listen to Was I in a Cult every Wednesday on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you love trivia, if you love the hugely popular Stuff You Should Know podcast, then the Trivial Pursuit game, Stuff You Should Know edition, is for you. With 600 questions, weird and unbelievable trivia in categories like myths, legends, and conspiracies. SYSK selects a mix of topics handpicked by podcast hosts Josh and Chuck. Get the Trivial Pursuit game Stuff You Should Know edition today, wherever you get your favorite board game.